You know, I've talked about this before when it comes to these AI writing and even to an extent artistic systems, services. And I stated in the previous video that it seems the more you spend, the more you basically have a little leeway. Like if you go for the most expensive annual monthly subscription, you got a lot of leeway. Or the more you spend from, adding extra credits, words, letters to your project, or for what you need for your project, you get a little bit more leeway. And, I stick by that. And I also feel like, what that tells me is they need to fix that. They need to fix that by basically showing that it shouldn't matter how much you spend, on a monthly basis or a little bit of, or on a splurging basis when you want to add on a little bit more, time, a little bit more, I guess you could say words or credits or whatever you want to call it to do what you got to do. I feel like they need to be fair to everybody. Because if you're promoting that your AI site or service, allows you to even expand further than, let's say, the more well-renowned ones, like those under the watch of Microsoft and Google and, other prominent, corporations. If you're advertising that, as something that, people can benefit from, then you need to stick by that. You need to say, look, we're not going to restrict you. We're not going to, hold your hand or anything like that. While you try to, it's trying to do something right there. While you try to finish a project or something like that. So I think they need to basically balance it out to where everybody, and I mean everybody, gets an opportunity to do what they got to do, no matter how risque it might be. Let's say you want to have the AI help you write a story, short or long, of an ancestral relationship between a mother and a daughter and everything. You shouldn't be held back on what you're trying to do. Or even artistic wise, you shouldn't be held back on what you want to do, especially if you're spending money on a monthly basis, subscription wise, annual basis, subscription wise, or even, like I said, splurging on getting, some extra credits added on. So you need to have, some leeway given to you. You should basically be given a fair opportunity, and not be someone like, not someone that's on the outside looking in, while others that are using the same service get these privileges, because they spend more. So I think there should be a fair balance, in my opinion. But I think there's something else that needs to be looked at as well. You see, the one thing I've noticed with To Do Right, and I'm sure this goes with other AI writing services out there, whether they're, more, I guess you could say less restrictive or whatever. The one thing I have noticed, in my opinion, is it seems that To Do Right, and again, I'm sure it goes for other AI services too, To Do Right seems to have this issue, to where basically they kind of get what they're trying to give you mixed up with other people's. And what I mean by that is, for example, there have been times where I want to see what a story will look like with a certain tone or something like that, whether it's very risque or regular or whatever, I'm going to want to see what it looks like. And most of the time I will kind of get what I'm asking for, but then there are certain times to where I won't get what I'm asking for, and instead I'll get something completely different. And what I mean by completely different, for example, let's say I want to do an ancestral story between Sally and her mom, Alicia Acorn, her mom from the Archie Sonic comics. Let's say I want to do that, and I'm able to do it. There are times that when I put in what I want, in the little first draft box that they give you on To Do Right, and then I choose the tone that I want it under, there are times that when I've done something like that, I won't get that. Instead, I'll get something else. I'll get like description of authors and everything, like, oh, here's so and so author and da 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 da, and I'm like, what is this? This is not what I asked for. Or I'll get something that's completely different with different characters, and I'm like, this is not what I asked for. You know, what is this? And my only conclusion and opinion and speculation, if you will, is there are other people using the to-do right service. And I think what happens is the AI gets my request, my prompt, if you will, mixed up with somebody else's, and instead I end up getting somebody else's answers, you know, from the AI, and by default, or, you know, at the same time, I should say, you know, they're probably getting what I'm asking. And to me, I'm thinking, this is something that the people behind these AI writing sites like To Do Right, you know, they need to work on. They need to fix. You know, they need to basically, you know, look into what's going on and be like, oh, you know, we need to address that. Because again, there are times I will go and I will ask for, you know, I will put it into the prompt, you know, something that I want to see, and like I said, most of the time I'll get it, or at least some kind of iteration of it. But then there'll be other times, and I mean other times, to where basically, you know, I will get something that's completely off the cusp of what I'm asking for. I'll get something that feels like it's meant for somebody else, you know, storyline wise or information wise. So I'm thinking, what is this? Because I even got that today, and I'm thinking, you know, what is going on? So to me, I think what these AI writing services need to do, if not, you know, overall AI creative services period, writing and, you know, artistic, I think what they need to do is they need to fix these issues. They need to fix them so that nobody else deals with them in the future. I mean, this is just further proof, in my opinion, that, you know, no matter how people feel about AI, it's still, you know, it's still learning. It's still very much learning, you know, how to adjust to what it's being given. That's what's going on, in my opinion. It is still learning. It's still learning the ins and the outs of, you know, what people are asking of it prompt-wise. You know, because, you know, again, what I'm noticing, you know, is something that the more this happens, if not taken care of, the more certain writing sites, you know, like To Do Right and others like Dreampress, OpenAI, ChatGPT, you know, you name it, the more they're going to basically get criticized, not just by the consumers, but also, you know, by the public, by the news media outlets. So they need to work on these. They need to address these issues. Because again, I mean, just moments ago, you know, before I came out here to record this, I was trying to do a story with Miles and his mom, Rosemary. Miles Tails Prower, Sonic the Hedgehog, is mom Rosemary from the Archie Sonic comics. I was trying to do a certain kind of story, and one of the tones I used was fantastical, and I put in a prompt, and what happened is I got something completely different with different characters and stuff, and I'm like, what is this? You know? And then earlier today, when I was just, you know, fooling around, just, you know, biding my time a little bit, I decided to come up with a different kind of story with different characters, and all of a sudden I got something that felt like I was getting information about, you know, authors, because all I got was something that said authors and then the name, and then that was it. And I'm thinking, what is this? You know, what is this? So again, I think To Do Right and all these other AI writing, you know, services, and by extension artistic services, they need to address these issues. They need to address them so that nobody else deals with them, you know, in the future. Because the more they let stuff like this happen, the more critical it's going to be for, these AI services. The more critical the consumers and the, and the critics and the news media and the tech media is going to, get on them about, because, they're not doing anything about them. And that's bad. That is bad, in my opinion. And again, it's the same thing, going back to what I said earlier about, they need to have more of a balance when it comes to the subscription services. They shouldn't show leeway to those that spend more on annual monthly subscriptions, or spend more if they can afford it on extra credits, words, or letters. They need to be more balanced. They need to show fairness, in my opinion. And these are issues that need to be addressed. Because if that issue, like I just mentioned, as I mentioned at the beginning, and the issue of getting, certain prompts and ideas people want to see, become a reality, as, to kind of give them an idea of, how to, take the next step. The more those get mixed up with other things that, they didn't request originally, the more, the more these services are going to get criticized. So these are issues, from subscription wise and extra credit wise to, mixture to misprompts and, mixture and, mishaps and all things that need to be addressed, and hopefully they address them soon. Because if not, then I guarantee you they're going to get criticized more in the future than they ever expected to be. And that's a fact. But let me know what your thoughts are, guys. Comment down below, live chat if you're watching on YouTube, and let me know if you've dealt with this kind of stuff before. I do apologize for a bit of the wind, but let me know what your thoughts are, and until then, I am out.